$25,800. $25,800 is what this driver made in 3 months. Today, I'm going to be showing you a consolidated statement from one of our lease operators. In this statement, you're going to see his gross earnings, which is $54,000, and all the deductions and what he took home at the end of 3 months. We're going to be comparing this lease operator to a company driver. We're going to be comparing this lease operator to what he would have made driving the exact same miles as a company driver making 55 cents per mile. Hey guys, Ronen here. Today, I'm going to be doing a really cool video. I'm going to be taking this lease operator driving this truck in our van reefer division. The driver ended up driving 36,000 miles over the course of 3 months. I'm going to be doing a consolidated statements for those 3 months. I'm going to show you all of his deductions. I'm going to show you what he took home. Well, I actually revealed it. He took home a little bit over $25,000, and I'm going to be showing you what he would have made if he would have been a company driver. The information is going to blow your mind away. So stay tuned, be patient with me. I'm going to be going over all the data, and now let's get to it. So the first thing I want to do is address a couple of the comments. I will be talking about taxes in the lease operator program. I saw a couple of comments referring to why I didn't talk about taxes, so I will include that in this video. I wanted to address one of the comments that came in through, and the reason that motivated me to do this video is because I got a comment. Somebody says this guy is full of shit. He's showing you one pay period out of the trucker's whole year. Ask him to show you the lowest paychecks or negative paychecks back to back. Ask him to show you pay average year over year. So it takes a long time to put these videos together. So I did do a consolidated 3-month pay for a driver. I will be working on a consolidated 6-month pay for the near future, and I will also be doing a consolidated 1-year pay and comparing the lease operator versus a company driver. So let's get to it. So we took a driver that in this company, I'm not going to mention any names, but he drove in March, April, and May. I consolidated his pay statement, and his pay statement is based on 36,000 miles. Okay, so he averaged out about 12,000 miles every single pay. He is in our lease program, so he does have a lease payment. So let's go over his consolidated pay. He grossed out $54,262. His Q1 bonus was $1,253. So we do have a safety bonus here. I'm not going to get into what it is, but it's basically 2 or 3 cents extra per mile. This is what he got refunded. So the driver did end up paying $925 in tolls and bridges from his own pocket. He did have $1,800 in holdback collected from him over the course of these 3 months. The truck lease payment that he's paying is $1,326, which is equivalent to $2,652 monthly. So that's what his lease payment is monthly. We take a payment every 15 days. So in the course of 3 months, he paid $8,990 in lease payments. This driver is driving a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia, and he leased the truck from us over the course of 3 years with, I believe, $1,000 buyback. So he spent a total of $2,665 on fuel over the course of 3 months in Canada. He spent $14,000 in the US, and I believe this number is already converted into Canadian dollars. And the repairs, so he did have a few repairs. The repairs are down here, $318, $452, and $355. I will also be making in the near future a video on what to expect in repairs, your first 3 months as a lease operator, your first 6 months, and your first year as a lease operator. So stay tuned, those videos are going to be coming up in the near future. So this driver took home $25,817 after all of his expenses. So yes, this driver made $25,817 net in his pocket after he paid for the lease, after he paid for all of his repairs, and he also has $1,800 that was taken from him for the holdback. So that's also his money. So technically he made $25,800 plus another $1,800. Now I'm just gonna go into a little bit of the taxes. I think this is a great place to talk a little bit about the taxes. So this net earnings are before he pays his taxes. So this driver is incorporated, and rightfully so. This money is going into his corporation. What he does on his corporate side and how much he pays himself personally, I could do a whole video on that, and I won't get into it too much, but he still needs to pay corporate taxes on the money that's left over in his company after a year. So if this was a 1-year statement, he would be making net in his corporation over $100,000. And then from there, it's what he paid himself and all his expenses, his own expenses. So now we're gonna take the comparison with the exact same miles. So again, 36,000 miles. And I'm going to be showing you a pay stub on what the driver would make if he was on payroll. So here is a pay stub on the exact same miles on 36,000 miles. We have it here. The driver got paid in this pay statement. We took 55 cents per mile. So here's his deductions for CPP, EU, and EI. The driver netted $9,765. So in example number 1, where he was a lease operator, after his repairs, he made $25,000. And then here, as working as a company driver, getting 55 cents per mile on payroll, he made $9,765. Now, a lot of you guys out there are gonna say, oh, you know what? I don't pay the CPP, EU, EI. I'm on a Driver Inc. model. Well, it's just a matter of time until you get busted, because Driver Inc. models, they are starting to crack down on it. It is a loophole in our tax system. I've been hearing and reading articles of companies that are getting busted for having Driver Inc. models. It's just a matter of time, hopefully sooner than later, hopefully within the next year or 2 years, they will eliminate this Driver Inc. model and everybody's going to be on payroll. So I cannot compete with those that are, Driver Inc. models. You are doing something wrong, and it's just a matter of time until you get caught, and then you get back charged for all the years that you've been doing what you shouldn't have been doing. So here's the comparison, exact same mileage. One driver's on payroll, the other driver is on a lease program. So now let's get into a little bit on when is a good idea to become a lease operator. So a lot of people are on the fence whether they should become a lease operator, whether they shouldn't become a lease operator. And my honest opinion of when you should become a lease operator is only one of 2 reasons. Number 1 is if you have bad credit, okay? And number 2 is if it's hard for you to save a down payment in order to buy a truck from the dealerships, okay? So again, these are the only 2 reasons why you should consider becoming a lease operator. Drivers who are in financial difficulties, let's say you have, thousands of dollars backed up on your credit cards. It's hard for you to save money for a down payment and you have bad credit. So in order to become an owner operator, then it's going to be a far-fetched goal, because to come out of debt, it's going to take time. For you to save your down payment, it's going to take time, and it's also going to take time to fix your credit rating. So these are the reasons why drivers become lease operators, because it gives them a solution right now in order to make more money. If you have good credit and you have enough money to put down as a down payment at the dealerships, I really recommend that you do not sign a lease program, because it does tie you into a company. So I told you I was going to give you the brutal, honest truth, and this is the truth. If you have enough money for a down payment and if you have a good credit rating, you really should not be considering doing a lease program. Okay, you should go to the dealerships, you should find yourself a good truck and purchase that truck and do the financing on it and become just an owner operator. It will give you the flexibility that if you don't like the company that you're at right now, that you can maneuver from company to company. Yes, there's it costs a lot to maneuver from one company to another company, but you won't be locked into that one company. So this is when you do not sign a lease program. I also receive a lot of comments on when is a good time to sign a lease or become an owner operator. I really think that you should give yourself, I do have a comment here that I will post. I got 50K saved up looking to buy a used truck cash, only 1.4 years of experience into trucking. So I don't think that 1.4 years of experience is enough time for you to become an owner operator. I really think that you should give yourself a full 2 years before you sign a lease or become an owner operator. You need to give yourself time to learn the ropes, to learn the industry, to see what company you like. You might not like the company, or you need something to compare to. I really like drivers that have 4 or 5 years of experience and they've been to 3 or 4 different companies and they have what to compare to. So they know what they can spot the red flags of what is a good company and what is not such a good company. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed something from this video. The reason why I put this content out there is to educate drivers to become more successful, to give you the information that you need to make the proper decisions, to sign on board with a company, to sign on board with, there's a lot of companies on the fence, whether it's our company or a different company, thinking about this lease program. So there it is. you have the information. You know, a lot of drivers, they don't want to sign the lease because they don't want to be tied in to a company. But when I look 6 months down the road or 8 months down the road or a year and a half down the road, we really try to come out of debt, but sometimes it takes a lot longer than that to come out of debt. I mean, when you're fixed to making $4,000 or $5,000 a month and you have expenses at $400 or $4,200 a month, it's very hard to come out of debt with that $800 spare that you have. And with the flip of a switch, I mean, you saw for yourself the 3-month pay statement, the comparison between a company driver and a lease operator. Well, one driver made $25,000 net in his pocket after all expenses, and the other driver made $9,700 net in his pocket. Yes, you're right. One driver is going to get a refund, you know, for about $1,000 or $1,500, maybe up to $2,000 is going to get a refund, the driver that's on payroll. And the guy that's working for his own corporation as a lease operator is going to end up paying taxes at the end of the year. Well, there's a lot of advantages to having a corporation. There's a lot of things that you can do legally while having this corporation. The last thing I'm going to touch on is insurance. So a lot of comments on insurance. Ronen, you never talked about insurance. What about insurance? So when I compare in our company, your insurance is included in your pay package. The only thing that's not included is disability insurance and if you want the buy down insurance. So all drivers crossing the border have to have, even if they're not crossing the border, they have to have out-of-state medical insurance and disability insurance. So you need to have the out-of-state medical insurance or out-of-province medical insurance, and then having the buy-down insurance is optional. Most drivers do take the buy-down insurance. But the insurance for the truck is included in our pay package over here. I don't know how it works in the US. Since I'm getting a lot of comments from the US about insurance, then I take it that, you know, most of your packages over there do not include the truck insurance. But here in our company, and most companies here, when you get paid, you know, your rate per mile includes the insurance. It includes the company pays for your tolls, your bridges, your faxes, your scales. It pays for pretty much everything. The only thing that the driver pays for here would be your IFTA, your quarterly IFTA, and it would be your fuel, and obviously your lease payment if you're doing the lease program here. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be making a 6-month video also, so I will be comparing a driver that's on payroll versus a lease operator. I'm going to take a 6-month snapshot. We're going to go a little bit more in detail about the repairs and maintenance that the driver saw within 6 months, and I'm also going to work on, and it just takes a long time to put these videos together, is the 1 year. So I'm going to take a full year of a company driver, a full year of a lease operator. We might even get lucky and get a driver to show us, you know, his taxes and his, you know, what he paid in corporate taxes and how he structured and paid it himself. Or we might even get, you know, a financial advisor to come in here and talk about the right structure on how to put it together when you are a lease operator, and the taking advantage of the tax brackets when you're lower income versus higher income. So a lot of people that have corporations, they'll pay themselves a salary of only what they need through their corporation. But that's for a whole nother video. If you learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. There's a lot more videos coming up, trucking related topics. My name is Ronen, and I'll catch you in the next one.